Good morning, students. I am Pramod Joy, your computer science teacher. And through this video, we are going to discuss about the database connectivity. How the Python can be connected to MySQL. Shall we start? Steps for creating database connectivity applications. 7 steps are there, and they are: start Python, import the packages required for database programming, open a connection to database, create a cursor instance, execute a query, extract data from result set, clean up the environment. These are those 7 steps. Installing MySQL connector on Anaconda Python installation. How to install a MySQL connector in Python. So for that you have to follow those steps. You have to click on that start menu, then Anaconda prompt, and in that prompt you have to type that command given there. Now the next step, import the packages. How to import the packages? Open the Python interface, and there you have to type import mysql.connector, or in other way, import mysql.connector as s1. That s1 is the variable name. Open a connection to MySQL database. So establish connection to a MySQL database using connect function of mysql.connector. As usual, the very first step, import mysql.connector as s1. m1 is equal to, m1 is another variable name. Okay, in order to connect, m1 is equal to s1.connect, and within the bracket, host is equal to localhost, user is equal to root, and the respective password and the database name. Here I have given the password as Indian and the database as school. That you have to give your password as well as the database name of that means in MySQL. If m1 is connected, print done. That means just for the sake of an example we are giving. If the connection is straight, if the connection is right, you will get the message done. Normally in almost all the compilers of MySQL, host will be localhost and user will be root itself. Create a cursor instance. A database cursor is a special control structure that facilitates the row by row processing of records in the result set. The set of records retrieved as per query. That's what you mean by result set. Now the code. Import mysql.connector as s1. m1 is equal to s1.connect. c1 is equal to m1.cursor. Execute SQL query. Once the cursor created, the SQL query can be executed using execute function. And the code, import mysql.connector as s1. m1 is equal to s1.connect. c1 is equal to m1.cursor. c1.execute within the bracket, within double quotes, select star from students. The above code will execute the given SQL query and store the retrieved records in the cursor object, namely C1. Extract data from result set. The result set refers to the logical set of records that are fetched from the database by executing an SQL query and made available to the application program. Once the result of the query is available in the form of a result set stored in a cursor object, the data can be extracted from the result set using any of the following fetch functions. Fetch all. It will return all the records retrieved as per query in a tuple form. Fetch 1. It will return one record from the result set as a tuple or a list. First time it will return the first record. Next time it will fetch the next record, and so on. If there are more records, then it returns none. Fetch many. This method accepts number of records to fetch and return a tuple where each record itself is a tuple. If there are not many records, then it returns an empty tuple. Row count. The row count is a property of a cursor object that returns the number of rows retrieved from the cursor so far. Clean up the environment. This is the last step. After all the processing step, this is the final step to close the connection established. Example m1.close. Example 4, fetch many function. Example 4, fetch one function. It fetches the record one by one. Parameterized queries. Examples of parameterized queries are given below. And one example of fetch all function. Parameterized queries with the help of two methods. One by using the percentage, other one by using the left and the right curly braces. More SQL commands to insert the data into a table as well as to update the table from Python. The point to be noted is that after using the insert as well as the update commands, commit command is a must in order to save or to store the data in that table.